what we wanted to talk about was our experience, and it was my first time at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I obviously only went one day. You were there basically all week. It was your first time as well, correct?
Yeah. Or no, it's my second time. I was there. I was there last year as well too on Sunday.
Got it. Not the Bryson year, which we failed to mention.
Yeah, so quick mention. No one called us out on it on our last episode, but we did say this was the fourth year of the Rocket Mortgage. Fun fact, it's actually the fifth.
No, it was. We said it was the third.
It was the third. Excuse me. Yeah. So again, stupid brain on our part, but we forgot Bryson DeChambeau in 2020.
We just null and void because he's a live guy now.
Yeah.
And the PGA Tour's in our pocket after giving us media passes, so we're going to only push PGA Tour initiatives now.
Right. Well, I was looking at that's how Sam was looking at it. I was looking at it as 2020 was a COVID year, so much like the LA Lakers championship in the bubble, that his win at Rocket Mortgage didn't count either. So
for the record, I'm just kidding. We're on both sides.
Yeah.
We just like to talk about it. But yeah, so take me there. I mean, you were able to experience kind of inside the ropes during the program and interact with some of the players, and then obviously walked around a lot throughout the week. So
yeah, I guess Wednesday was obviously my favorite day of the week. So that's when you can get a lot more access to everything there. You don't have fans there because people don't care about the program unless you're playing in it. So I saw a decent amount of people out there Wednesday, but the cool part of this whole thing was I ran into a buddy that was caddying in the group with our boy Sahith.
Yeah,
as
everyone, 2 days after I ran into him at the Tigers game.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess that was a good spot to lead off. So Sam saw him at the Tigers game on Monday, went up to him, got a picture. We posted it on our Instagram with a swipe feature with our famous video that Sahith fucks, which he does. And then some guy named Royo Coots, I think was the name that commented on it, and said, "This is the most accurate thing I've heard on Instagram all day." Just like the comment, didn't think much of it. And then we get to Wednesday. I ended up walking with my buddy who's in the group with Sahith. And I kind of squeezed my way into their group a little bit to hang out. And, Sahith walks right over. I introduce myself. We get to talking, and I bring up the situation with you at the Tigers. I said, did some ass clown come up to you at the Tigers game on Monday?
Some fanboy.
And then he started laughing. He goes, yeah. He goes, Sam. I go, yeah. He goes, and I started talking about our podcast and what we do. And he goes, yeah, Lip and Putts. I was like kind of thrown off guard. I was like, I don't think Sam brought up the fact that that was the name of our podcast, but he remembered it. And I was like, oh, how'd you already know? He goes, oh, I saw the clip that you guys put out on Monday saying that I fuck. I was like, no way. I was like, what a small world. Well, come to find out, that guy that commented on the Instagram, Royo Coots, I believe is his name. I could be
one of his buddies, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Played college golf with him at Pepperdine. Saw the video, it popped up in his recommended, and then sent it over to him. So he saw it, and then him and I were, and his caddy Carl, shout out to Carl, our boy, shot the shit with them for the next 7-8 holes while they were playing the program, and really just two cool guys. You can tell super happy to be out there full time for the first year on tour. And I asked him the question too. I go, first time here. He goes, no, he actually played the U.S. Amateur at Oakland Hills back in 2016. So he loves coming to the Detroit area. He loved being out there for the Rocket Mortgage Classic, and they were extremely nice to me. And they were also in a group with Detroit Lions running back Barry Sanders.
Yes,
so
ever heard of him?
Ever heard of him? So not a bad group at all. So that really kicked off the week, and I knew from there we did network pretty good. So hopefully, we're hoping our boy Sahith wants to come on this podcast.
When the season maybe ends.
Yeah, well, and we're getting to the FedEx Cup playoffs, so we're gonna reach back out to him after that, and obviously want to get him on because we're both big fans of his, and have enjoyed watching him kind of come up through the ranks. But that kicked off a great week for us. And then you get to go out and walk the course, and Detroit Golf Club was in great shape. I don't think I heard one complaint about anything going on out there. And it's cool because I think a lot of these courses that they go to now are newer, updated courses that don't have a lot of trees anymore. And this is one of the courses that is actually tree lined. Obviously, an old Donald Ross course. You can tell it's an older country club, and it sets up to be a little bit different, and not so much that it's harder, but it requires a lot more different shots. You see, like the Siwoo Kim shot with the driver off the deck a few years ago, going in between the trees, and watching guys that have to hit these low punch kind of stinkers underneath the trees to get back in the fairways. It makes for fun golf to watch.
Yeah, and it's a good golf course with, there's not a lot of bunkers protecting the fronts of greens. There's obviously the water hazard on 14, But there's a lot of opportunity to, when you do get a little offline, you can hit some of these creative shots to get it up. And so you're right. It's sometimes hard to see that all on TV. And I've never really been a person who's been really interested in going to the tournament. I know we heard what the prices were, and we can get to that part in a second and what we think could make it better. But just going out there and being able to walk around and see a lot of these different shots that these guys are hitting and working the golf ball different ways. I mean, it's really fun to watch. And it just makes it shows off how really fucking good these guys are.
Right. And I think a unique part about it too is we see on TV that, CBS, NBC, Golf Channel, that you only see the good shots. Mm-hmm. Like, these guys actually hit a decent amount of bad shots, and they'd admit to that. So it goes to show you how good their recovery is on some of these shots. And obviously you get to see a little bit more of the players that are finishing lower on the leaderboard too when you're out there, because they don't ever show those guys on TV at all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, it's sometimes fun to watch a guy hovering around the cut line and see what they got to do to make the cut or stuff like that. So, but either way, yeah, you're right. I mean, when you're watching on TV, they only show the good players. They show the guys in the lead who are in good form and everything. And so we're almost accustomed to, like, expecting these guys to hit such great shots every time. And when they don't, we're so surprised. And it's like, no, this happens a lot. A guy missing 6-footers happens a lot. Yeah. They might just not show it on Thursday, Friday.
Well, and there's a few times too, I watch guys tee off or hit an iron shot. I was like, what the hell was that? And obviously I still know they're professionals and the best players in the world, but it's like, wow, like, okay, maybe they don't hit it the best. And
they're like you and I. I mean, but 100 times better.
But I think a unique story that Sahith kind of told me the other day is, he said he only hits no more than 500 golf balls a week. I was like, that seems crazy low. And he knows it is. He had wrist surgery like 3 years ago that kind of shredded some ligaments and tendons in his left wrist. And he just can't hit a lot of balls anymore. So he said he just started grinding on a short game. And once he started doing that, he actually became a better ball striker.
Mm-hmm. Takes less pressure off.
Little tip for everybody out there coming from one of the best in the world. Maybe you just got to grind on that short game to get the game in shape. I'm not going to say you're going to be a PGA Tour star from there, but short game sells.
Yeah.
I will say one of the cool stories is I walked in there on Sunday. I got there in the afternoon as the leaders were teeing off, and I look over and I see this crowd of guys kind of grouped around. I was like, who is that? And I looked. Guy had like a t-shirt on backwards, like old Seattle Mariners hat, and just some golf shorts. I was like, who is? And I looked. I was like, oh shit, Joel Damon just hanging out on the weekend. Missed the cut, but still came to the Rocket Mortgage, I think both Saturday and Sunday, just to hang out and be among the fans. So that was one of the cool parts about being out there too, is that there's a lot of casual fans, you would say, but Sahith walked in between people and they didn't know who he was. Like JJ Spawn was out there. Zach Johnson I walked right by Zach Johnson a couple times. Like Max Homa and Will Zalatoris were obviously the names that people and face that people knew. But for some of these guys that are, have been on tour for a long time, that like, even like a Denny McCarthy, like if you don't watch golf religiously, you'd have no idea who any of these guys are.
Yeah. And that's kind of fun. And that's why I go into these events, or what we talk about. If you go to a Corn Ferry or some of those, like, it's fun to go see some of these up and coming guys.
Yeah.
So either way, that was our kind of thoughts on Rocket Mortgage. Fun week in the city of Detroit. On TV, they really made it look good, which is cool. And it's just great. I mean, I think people who are not from this, Michigan, Detroit, they think it's still like a shithole, and they're just wrong.
Yeah.
And
that's what all the players talk about. I even talked about with Theegala's caddy, Carl. He said, he was staying over in Troy. He's like, there's so many cool spots around here that you can go to and hang out in. And, a bunch of guys were in downtown Detroit enjoying some of the nightlife and dining down there. So it was, I think a lot of people kind of get blown away when they come to Detroit.